Hey modders, welcome back to ModifedRoll. We are sponsored by DM Dice. Use the code ModifedRoll or follow the link in the description to get 10% off all your adventuring needs. We're also sponsored by Arcanist Rum. Check them out and use code ModifedRoll to get 15% off all purchases and free shipping. In the last episode, our party confronted a chain-bedecked creature torturing a man to the brink of death. Swiftly dealing with him, they moved on to the interior of the hideout and came upon a room where a secret conversation seemed to be taking place. We rejoin them now as they listen in to find out exactly what is being said. In Season 2, Episode 47 of ModifedRoll, Through Fire and Darkness. Mercy, you get near the door, you place your hand on it, sort of feeling, pushing out your magical senses through it, and you activate that clairvoyant spell. Your invisible sight pushed through the wood of the door into this room. First of all, the room you see was obviously built as some form of smoking room or something. There is a large fireplace on the far wall, currently obscured by what I will tell you in a second. But where you would expect in a room built like this to be lavish furniture, maybe high wing-back chairs, the room is instead cleared, and on the floor is a arcane sigil with candles placed throughout certain points. The reason the fireplace is partially obscured is because at that far end of the room is a large circular hole in space, and through it you can see an endless plain of fire and rock and lava burning for as far as the eye can see. Near to the door is a human man, dressed finely in noble attire. He is greying with a close-cropped, well-tended beard, but even with his body partially obscured as he stands in profile to you, talking to these two other people in the room that I will describe in a second, you can see that his eyes are sunken with heavy bags beneath them. Where he would, you imagine, once have stood quite rigid and straight, you can see there is a slight slump in his shoulders of exhaustion, and almost as if he has given up a little bit. More worryingly are the two other people he is speaking to. On the opposite side of the room to him stands a black, hunched, dragonoid-like creature with a long, narrow face, curled, wicked black wings, wearing sleek black armor that accentuates its scales. So dark is this creature that you're pretty sure if it were to stand back in the shadows, you would lose sight of it completely. And more terrifyingly, between the two of them, stood directly in front of this portal, is a creature 12 feet tall, with tight, armor-like scales covering its body. It stands wearing exquisite blue and silver armor, with great, long horns that almost touch the 16-foot high ceiling of this room. Held almost lazily in the crook of its arm is an exceptionally long, vicious-looking bident with flames licking along the spikes on the end. Its wicked black eyes stare down at this man before him, who seems to flinch away from his gaze, and he speaks once again.
While your work has been well received by the lady, there is much more to be done.
I'll be relaying all of this to the others as I'm hearing it.
Yeah. This, you realise as well, is that bassy voice. As he speaks and as Mercy's relaying this, you guys can again almost hear the words through the door.
You are to continue working with Inverdox. Supply him with the soldiers he needs. I will be back in a few days to check how the operation is going. Do not fail me.
And you see it steps through this portal, and as it turns away, both the man fully bows at the waist, almost touching his head to the floor. This black dragonoid-like creature dips its head a fraction but not showing an overmuch level of deference. And this creature ducks, bringing its horns below the level of this magical threshold, steps through, and disappears. Would you continue watching for a time?
Yeah, I think at least for a minute or so, just to see what this man is now doing.
Yeah. I also assumed, I gave you obviously a description of the room and what was being said. I assumed you were like, you took in the room and then switched. You took in the room and then switched to the sound, yeah.
And now I'll probably switch back.
You see the man sort of relaxes a little bit as this creature steps through this portal, but then there's almost like a hissing sound from the other creature, and you see that again causes him to stiffen.
Yes, the soldiers so far have been adequate, I suppose. But our queen needs more. How soon will the next batch be ready?
You see the man shudders at this voice from this creature. You know as well as I do that the people, and you see there's he puts a bit of venom in the word people, I have been provided are working to the best of their abilities. They will be ready when they are ready.
They must be ready sooner.
You see the man flinches. He knows that in standing up for himself here, while he has some authority in this area, he realizes it is not enough to assuage this creature. It is not enough to prevent its venom, and he is on a very, very fine knife edge here. He has to balance what has been... He has to balance what he has been told to do against what he has been promised. How much of this conversation would you be prepared to listen to, just so I know how much I have to tell you?
I mean, I think that Mercy would at this point is probably quite scared, mostly because the devil that we obviously don't know is a devil, to her would just look like a tiefling on steroids, which is a real weird thing.
Oh, so the one thing I actually forgot to describe for him as well, he has, just because you said tiefling, he has massive furled wings that sat like a full foot and a half over his shoulders.
Hey, I don't know what's in those steroids. They could be pretty powerful. So I think she'd only be able to kind of listen for a couple minutes, and if it doesn't look like the man or this creature are moving or going anywhere, we'll then kind of come back and be like, "What? All right, I don't think they're moving. What should we do?"
Yeah, you get the impression that at this point they move into a discussion about sort of timelines and the creature begins pressuring him, we want to make this move quicker, and the man starts saying, if you want this to move any faster, we're going to need X, Y, and Z, and it becomes more of a discussion of capabilities than anything else.
Yeah, definitely once it gets to that, it'll be like, right, what are we doing now? So, not going to lie, that was pretty terrifying, but if we want to go through there, we'll either have to sneak past them or we'll have to take them out. Plus, whatever portal is there is still open.
No, the portal closed.
Was it? Or was it closed?
It closed.
Oh, the portal is closed. Forget I said that. I forgot.
What would you make of the demonic being that you saw in there? Is it too powerful for us?
I have no idea. I've never seen anything like it.
Give me an insight check, just to try, if you want to try and read what you could get from that creature. Again, not something you've ever seen before, but to see what you can get about its demeanor in front of the other creature.
I rolled a 22.
Okay, so 1, you know that the creature that was left with the man is definitely not as powerful as the... Just saying that, let me just double check where they sort of lie on their various hierarchies. Yeah, you know just by looking at it and taking in its demeanor, it was obviously showing a level of deference to the huge horned one. So it is obviously weaker than that. You get the impression from the first creature, the large horned one, that it is a lot stronger than you guys. very much so.
Yeah, assume that.
like laughably so. You get the impression that this creature is, I would say, just from reading its posture, its size, the weapons it's carrying, you can see it has like two sword sheaths on its belt. You don't know what's in them, obviously, but it's carrying weapons, so this obviously isn't a creature that is not animalistic, it's not relying on its claws and talons, but it has these two long... Actually, with that, it was over 20, wasn't it?
22, yeah.
You take studying the shape of this creature, I described it as like a black dragonoid creature. You actually realize that as you're studying it, that it actually has several characteristics that are very distinct to black dragons. It has these long, sweeping forward horns that end in wicked points, almost like a horseshoe framing its face. Its jaw, around its like teeth, the skin is like pulled back almost, with these prominent, long, wicked fangs that stick out beyond its lips. Well, what counts for lips on a dragon? Almost looking like they have been burned and scarred with acid. You get the impression that this is some sort of like, when I say dragonoid, that isn't like a loose term. It's definitely some sort of dragon-like creature related to a black dragon directly somehow. But it is bipedal, it is standing up, and it has these long, similar to a lot of creatures already, it has these long, almost like tattered wings draped along its back, which at first glance, as it was stood there, you maybe almost would have mistaken for a robe of some kind, but you realize as it moves and shifts that these unfurl a little to take a more comfortable position, and they are in fact wings. You would guess, at a strength level, you would probably put this somewhere around the creature that you fought in the previous room with the chains.
Sure. So we have Tiefling on steroids and Dragonborn on steroids.
Yeah, I was going to ask, are Dragonborn a thing that exists in this setting normally?
Yes.
Right.
Yes, this is not a Dragonborn.
I see.
Above table, this is an Abishai.
Oh, okay.
Well, we could perhaps take that creature, although it would be just as difficult as the fight we just had. But
which for you guys apparently
horn-
wasn't that difficult.
That was easy.
it's fine. It was easy, but I used up all of my third devil spells.
Oh,
Yes, I'm a little tapped as well, but I could definitely do some stabbing.
The horned one, though, is far beyond anything I've ever seen. I would not want to be anywhere near that in a combat.
that one's gone though, right?
Yes, it went through the portal.
Well,
Actually, I'm going to give you this as well. We're going to roll a luck check just to see if they said something as
Is it my
left.
dad?
Daddy? Mercy,
Papa?
highs or lows?
Oh, highs.
Remember this and how complicated I make it? Oh, no, I'm not even going to ask you to change because I want to give you this information, and you rolled an 86. As the creature was like turning to leave and the others like bowed, well, the man bowed and the creature inclined its head, you heard the man say, "As you wish, Amun."
Ah,
So whatever this is, it has a name,
has a name.
and the name is Amun.
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 And
Not a moon.
your
Amun.
name is Amun. Amun.
Amun.
And he mentioned an inverdox or a lady of some kind.
The queen.
So those were two different people. He referenced those as two different
Two
things.
different things.
Yeah, he mentioned.
I see.
Amun mentioned doing the lady's bit. So I think it says something about doing the lady's bidding. He mentioned working
Yes.
with Inverdox. You could context clues. You get the impression that's the name of the dragonoid creature.
right.
And the dragonoid creature mentioned the queen.
Ooh, okay.
Just because you rolled really highly on the insight and stuff, so you've learned a fair bit about, like, you know, what sort of measuring this creature up. Give me a straight up intelligence check.
Now, theoretically, I'm good at these.
Woo!
18.
Because you're quite good at religion as well, aren't you?
Yes, I have a +6.
Would that have, so give it you use your religion instead, actually. So what would that have been with a religion check?
Yeah, that would add an extra 3, so it would be 21.
21. You get, like, without knowing what this creature is, you know enough that you're like, oh, this thing is like directly related to a black dragon. The fact that this thing is working with some sort of demonic creature and is referring to their queen You think that it is referring to Tiamat.
Yeah.
Oh god. Oh god. Wait, so hang on. In terms of Tiamat, so I would know who Tiamat is, but obviously we don't know about the Hells.
You don't know about the Hells, so obviously, like I said, with the way my world is set, it is like standard pantheon stuff, but at a specific point in time. You are aware of Tiamat. You are aware that she was, or is, the like goddess of the chromatic dragons as the counterpoint to Bahamut.
Bahamut?
Bahamut, yeah.
And you know that she was like defeated and cast down as part of like the Celestial Wars, but as a people, like as a nation, you guys have like no idea where she is. You know, as far as she's aware, she has like been restricted to her own domain, but like as far as you're aware, it's like, oh, it's Tiamat's domain. You don't know that resides within the Hells.
Sure. Okay, yes. So I think like Mercy was like halfway through a sentence where she's like, her name is Amun and they were looking for... Hang on, but... I think Tiamat is involved somehow. That dragon creature mentioned the queen, and that can only be one thing.
Oh dear.
Well, we can go forward or we can go backwards, and we know what's behind us. If it sounds like there's important people in front of us doing whatever dastardly planning is going on in there, that it's something that we should probably try to put a stop to.
Quick question. Would you have dropped your clairvoyance to have this conversation?
I think if I can leave it running, I would, but I probably I wouldn't be like paying attention to it, if that makes sense. Because it lasts for 10 minutes, so I think if I'm able to, I can kind of leave it and then like tune in after we've had the conversation, if that makes sense.
Cool. In which case, can I get another luck check, please? Highs or lows?
Yes. Let's go lows this time.
So, knowing that I either rolled a 94 or a 4, would you like to change that?
Oh no. I hate this. I'm going to roll dice to decide whether I'm going to change it or not. Yeah, I'm going to change it.
Oh, that's unfortunate because I rolled a 4. As you've like switched out of your clairvoyance and you guys are all huddled up having this conversation, you hear the door handle move.
The door that we're next to.
Behind us?
No, the door you've been listening at.
Shit.
You've switched away, as you've switched away from the clairvoyance to have the conversation, the two in there have finished their conversation and they're about to leave the room.
Can I grab it?
I mean, yeah.
Can I grab it so they can't move it? Shit, yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, I mean, you can. So you're stood by the door, you're having this conversation, you watch as the handle goes down and Giliana goes, nope, and just grabs the door. We're going to go to initiative. Okay, Joachim.
11.
Giliana.
A natural 20.
Nice.
Hey.
Eleanor.
12.
I'll roll in a second. Mercy, you've already put yours in. So, Giliana, sort of thematically making sense here. You're top of the order as you've just reached out and grabbed this door. I've been like, nope. So, starting off with you, what would you like to do?
Oh my god, what can I do? Is there any, like, fight with the door, or...?
Oh, yeah. Like, this is, like, instant... The instant you've grabbed it, you can feel someone, like, you know what you do? You go to turn a door handle, and it doesn't go as far as you expect, so you try to jiggle it a little bit, and, like, they're pulling on it, but it is literally... They've got as far as, like, a couple of jiggles and are starting to pull. For now, they just think the door is stuck.
Stab them through the door. Stab them through the door.
Just, like, open the door. Hello,
You know you
stab.
want to.
The thing is, I'm not, like, strong, so... I don't know why I did this. Just to be a pain in the ass, I think.
Giliana, the bane of doors.
Door slayer. Okay. What should I do? Maybe I'll hold my action for it. When they come through the door, I want to stab them like, get them with my sword.
Cool. So, you want to hold action?
Yeah.
Perfect. Cool. In which case, what would they do?
I've like bamboozled them, haven't I? Oh.
The door's locked. They're going to go off and try and find the key.
Have they got the key? Yeah. Did you drop it or?
You hear that like hissing, rasping voice that you would assume to be that dragonoid creature. You can't make out what it's saying through the door, but you hear its voice, and then you hear a muffled reply of like a humanoid voice. But nothing else happens for now. Eleanor.
All right. I have a question, which is, according to the rules of Cloud of Daggers, it's centered on a point I choose within range. It doesn't say anything about being able to see it.
So unfortunately, rules is written, unless a spell specifies otherwise, you have to see the origin point of the spell.
Okay,
there are certain ones like clairvoyance, which we just obviously went through, where it's like you can put it on a spot that is like reasonable to describe, like the other side of a door, but unless it specifies that in the spell, you have to be able to see the point of origin.
Okay.
I mean, you could also just ready an action to cast it as soon as the door opens.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think I'm going to. Yes, I'm going to ready an action to cast Cloud of Daggers again for as soon as the door opens.
Cool.
To give us another lovely choke point.
So just to clarify, you're going to cast on the point directly on the other side of the door?
Yeah.
Cool. Dude, lovely. So just remember that you've readied that. Joachim, Giuliana is in front of you. You can see she sort of like released the door at this point and has readied her blade to stab as soon as it opens. What would you like to do?
Well, there's quite a gathering of people at this doorway now. So
that's a point, Eleanor. Would you have liked to have moved because you're like stood right next to the door and you don't need to be to cast that spell?
Oh yeah. Okay. I'll happily move back, perch on an altar.
Joachim knows that Cerule is probably the better person to be like in the front to do attacks and whatnot.
I mean, as a reminder, you're definitely the most heavily armored person here. He works better when there's somebody else fighting someone.
True. I wonder. All right. Would I be able to ready an action to basically swap places with Giuliana after she's done her attack?
I'll allow it. We'll essentially say it's a grapple that I'm assuming Giuliana will wish to automatically feel, and then you'll just step into her place. Cool, yeah. Sure, because then, because if you do that, she's not choosing to move, so whoever it is also won't get an opportunity attack.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. This is going to be one hell of everyone's just going to act at once. Great.
This is going to be a mess.
Speaking of, Giuliana, the door in front of you opens. You can see into the room as described with these like arcane sigils on the ground that were used in some sort of ritual. You can see further into the room is this large, hunched dragonoid creature with these long limbs that almost reach to the floor as it stands upright. And in front of you is a very surprised-looking man in nobleman's attire who goes, "What the hell?" And then you stab him. Can I get an attack roll?
See, I don't recognize him, do I?
No, this is not someone you would know.
He's got a good beard, though.
You could assume it's probably the noble that Cerule described as being the one who was like in league with like smugglers and stuff. Hem Marshwood, I believe.
I wonder if we've all like been like, we're going to attack them as soon as we open the door, we're going to throw everything at it, and then this noble's just going to be like a normal noble.
Definitely in a cult.
Actually, it's the dragon. We should have.
Just a bloke.
Only one way to find out.
He's going to go down from one stab.
17.
17 is enough to hit.
Oh, good. Time to stab. 8 damage.
Stab.
Does this count as a sneak attack?
Oh, shit.
Yes, actually it does. He's absolutely surprised.
Okay.
So you can roll sneak attack as well. So 8 to begin with.
Roll advantage to see if you crit.
Actually, yeah, that as well.
So another 13. I'm gonna do.
And just re-roll the attack roll just in case.
No, I haven't. It wasn't a crit.
Okay, lovely. That you open the door. This guy's like, "What the hell?" And you step forward and just stab him through the side. And he, "How dare you! And he like reaches out and throws a hand towards you, and I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw as your body erupts in flames.
Ow! Fuck.
Well,
Can it be at that moment that I
we could have.
pull her back and
Yes,
swap places?
because this is Hellish Rebuke, it's still going to hit her, but then you can
okay.
move her.
Oh, it's Hellish Rebuke, I see.
Yeah.
15?
15. What's his spell save? Meets beats. So you're going to take half damage. So you take a total of 5 fire damage as these. Even as it happens, you can smell like the brimstone. This isn't just like a regular like smoke fire. There is something fiendish about this as it erupts along your body. And then Joachim grabs you and switches positions.
Why
with
was
you.
it half? Because I beat him.
Yes, because you beat the save.
So could I have uncanny dodged that? And got half?
Yeah, you can uncanny dodge that, bring it and take it down to 2.
Sick. Ouch! That
And
hurt
at some
mildly.
point among all of this, and I assume at some point among all of this, a bunch of fangs just stream out of my mouth and stab this man in the face.
Yes, that. Bearing in mind we haven't actually got to his turn yet. That was just a reaction to Kiliana's readied action. Now you cast Cloud of Daggers, still before he actually takes his turn, and the cloud of things erupts in front of him. I'm going to say that this time, just because of like the order of events, I'm actually going to allow you to roll damage now for this.
Sweet. That's 10 again.
God damn.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Lovely. What is he going to do?
Die, hopefully.
Do you know what? He's gonna be a right dick. He is.
If you banish me again,
That would be funny. That would be very funny. What was his additional thing? Oh goddamn! Actually, I know that's what he's gonna do.
I don't like that.
What distance is everyone? You guys are all definitely within. Yeah, no. I need all of you to make me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Yikes.
come on, this one's got to work for me. Come on. Oh yeah, that's an unnatural 20.
Oh, a natural 20! 18.
Only an 11 for me.
Oh god damn
Is it an average?
Right. What does Cerule win?
Oh, come on, Cerule.
Literally on the button. Has a +0 to this, and he still made it. So it is just Eleanor.
Oh, Eleanor.
So you watch as he throws out his hands, and these little motes of flame, like black and red flame, dance from his fingertips into the air around you all, and they explode into these myriad of fireworks. Eleanor, you unfortunately become hypnotized as these lights dance around the room in front of you. You are charmed, and while under this charmed condition, you are incapacitated and have a speed of 0.
Okay. I'm just like, oh, look at the pretty lights.
So you are under this effect. He has concentration on the spell, unless you take damage or somebody else takes an action to rouse you from this stupor. You are fully incapacitated.
Okay.
So let me make a note to say that he is concentrating. He's also not going to. I don't know. He is going to move away because he has ranged attacks. He doesn't want to stand in front of you. So Joachim, you get an opportunity attack against him.
Okay. Here we go. This will be with my Morning Star of Warning.
Yes.
So it is magical. That is a 16 to hit.
16 definitely hits.
D8. That is, max damage, 12 damage.
12 damage. Lovely. He is looking badly injured, but still up. So that was an opportunity attack. He has moved. Mercy, it is your turn.
Does he have to do a concentration check for
Oh, sorry, he does, yes. He will have to beat a
Hypnotizing.
10 on that. Oh, for fuck's sake. Stop being so shit. Eleanor, you're no longer incapacitated as he immediately drops concentration on the spell.
No, sorry, I must have drifted off for a second.
Eleanor would have dropped her cloud of daggers when that happened as well, right?
Yeah, I was going to ask
I
about
don't
that.
actually believe so. You don't lose concentration unless you fall unconscious. I don't believe being incapacitated
Oh,
drops it.
Ooh, nice.
Could she maybe drop it now so we can get through?
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Or is it one of those ones you can move? Can you move the
Oh
cloud
no!
daggers?
Tell a lie. It is that it's. I thought it was unconscious, but it is incapacitated. You just become incapacitated if you're unconscious.
Okay.
So
It did
the
10
spell,
damage anyway, so.
the spell drops.
Kind of works out for us.
Yeah. It was like, where did my cloud of
I
fangs
will-
go?
I will move into the room. I can't really do anything if I don't. And I'm gonna step to the side of the door, so I'm like in the corner. I'm gonna hurl a firebolt at the nobleman and say, "Stay in your lane, bitch."
Woo!
That's a 25 to hit.
25 definitely hits.
Doo-doo-doo. So he will take 14 fire damage.
14. He is still up, but he is pissed, to say the least.
Yeah, that's my turn.
Amazing. In which case, it is Cerule. Cerule is going to waste no fucking time. He is going to rush the room. He is going to assess the situation, realize that he doesn't want to be in front of both of these guys, and is going to try and position himself away from the big dragon creature, and is going to try and stab this guy.
We're not thinking about the dragon creature right now.
First attack is definitely going to hit. I'll roll his offhand attack at the same time. That one's going to miss. No sneak attack, unfortunately, but he is going to use his... no, actually, he's going to realize that this other creature is quite dangerous. He's not going to use the last of his superiority die just yet. Fuck me, Cerule. That is only 5 damage. God, this guy's...
Was that Gilliana?
I got it. Gilliana, it is your turn.
Oh my god. Sorry, is the noble guy still alive? Yeah.
Yes, he is still alive. He's stood between Cerule and the black
sorry, I
dragonoid
can't see.
creature. He is looking
I can't
rough
see
currently.
him. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he has moved further back into the room.
He's looking
currently.
rough.
Oh yeah. Like if you move in and you can see him, he is like openly bleeding from several wounds. He has a very horrible like burn that has like blistered a bunch of the skin on the side of his head. He is rough.
Ooh, well, I feel like you're on your way out. He's on his way out. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna try and shoot this weird looking thing with my crossbow. Nope, my short bow. Yep. 19.
At 19 hits.
Cool. Am I in range with anybody?
No, unfortunately, Cerule is next to the noble guy. He specifically didn't move up next to the dragonoid yet, so there'll be no sneak attack on this one.
7. 6. 6.
6. Cool. Very similar to the chain creature you saw before. You rush in, your arrow flies through, strikes the creature in the shoulder, but you watch as it barely digs into the scales there, and this creature reaches down, plucks it out, and just drops it to the ground.
Can I hide?
I mean, if you want to duck, I think you've still got plenty of movement, so you can like duck back out through the door, and I will just give you like a free hide because
Sure.
you'll be fully obscured.
Bye.
Cool. Don't need to roll.
Run away!
No, you do not need to roll. You've just used your bonus action, so
Oh,
you are
God.
hidden. In which case, it is now the dragonoid creature's turn. You all hear as it hisses.
Little worms, little rats creeping in the darkness. Let me show you what goes about in the dark.
And you see it breathes in and exhales this thick black smog that begins to fill the room, and you all find yourselves in pitch black darkness. Well, that's it for this episode. Thanks very much for sticking with us. As usual, I would just like to thank Lixie B for our wonderful logo, and Jeff for all of the fantastic art for our characters in Season 2. Don't forget, you can check out more of Jeff's work on our online store, where you can find his artwork used on our stickers and t-shirts. Also, a massive shout out to the Stormweather Shanty Choir for allowing us to use their song Drunken Sailor as our intro and outro music. Also, a massive thank you to our wonderful sponsors DN Dice and Arcanist Rum. Find links to both of their websites in our description. And finally, a massive shout out and thank you to all of our Patreon supporters who continue to support us in everything we do. Your support means the world to us, and we hope that we can go on making fantastic content thanks to you. So once again, our recommended podcasts are just the 3 shows from all of our guests, so if you want to check them out, they are Cybertopia, Realms of Peril and Glory, and Deck of Many Aces. We do have another at least 1 episode with these lovely guests, looking ahead at the timestamps, possibly 2. And then we have another guest session that we've already recorded the first part of. It would have been recorded in 1 part if I had remembered to hit record again after we came back from our break. But there's going to be at least 2 episodes from that one as well. So look forward to that. We have more amazing guests coming up. I think I've mentioned it before, but in August, Roll Dark are doing another GM Academy, where we have a bunch of our professional DMs are going to talk to you about how to improve your own game as a DM. I will be running a session at this where I will be talking about traps. As you've probably heard me talking about, I love making traps for our Patreon, I love using them in the podcast and all of my games. So I'll just be running a little segment on creating your own traps, creating themed traps, and just how to make them seem logical in your setting so that they aren't just a spike trap for the sake of a spike trap, but have a purpose and a reason for being there. But other than that, that's it for this week's episode. Thanks very much for sticking with us, and we'll see you soon.